Hello there, champs, and welcome to your under 15-minute session with me. Now, this under 15-minute session should go by very, very quickly because we're doing something very easy, which is informal letters. So let's get right to it. What is an informal letter? Opposite of a formal letter. We know that formal letters are used for formal communication. It's generally sent to people that we don't know personally. Informal letters, on the other hand, are sent to people that we do know personally, and we want to sort of get to know more about their lives, what's going on with them, or give them some kind of an update from our lives. I know that nowadays writing letters का trend एकदम जा चुका है, and generally if you want to catch up with a loved one, we either text or we also can do video calls now. But back in the day, letters actually used to be the only means of communication, and it has a very nice nostalgia factor for a lot of people. And so a lot of people who love old-timey things, they love writing letters. And writing letters is its own art, because generally when we are chatting with someone, video calling or doing something, we don't use language to its maximum potential. But in letters, we have the opportunity to do that. We can write some very beautiful letters, and a lot of informal letters of a lot of famous people have become very, very popular now, and we get to know so much more about their lives, about the kind of people they were, about the kind of thoughts and perspectives that they had because of those letters. So letters have been extremely valuable for us to get to know a lot of famous, authors, revolutionaries, scientists, a lot of different people. Alright, so now we know what an informal letter is. Let's get to how we need to write it, and specifically how we need to write it for the purpose of our exam. Because when we are sending a letter to a friend, उसमें हम लोग इतना ध्यान से कुछ follow नहीं करेंगे कि यहाँ पे ये होना चाहिए, वहाँ पे वो होना चाहिए. But exam में there are still rules that you need to follow. So let's look at the specific format that you need to follow. Very easy, nothing too complicated. So you will start with the address and date. Now, unlike a formal letter, in an informal letter, you're just going to write down your address so that the person you're sending the letter to knows whom to write back to or which address to write back to, okay? So you'll put down the address, full address over here, all right? And then pin code included. So if you want to write down a random address, you can make up a random pin code. Nobody is going to cut your marks because the pin code is not correct. You are not expected to know all the pin codes of the world, okay? And then you're going to write down the date. Why? Because context is always important for everything. If the person who's receiving the letter doesn't know when the letter was written, they'll get so confused. A lot of times, letters are lost, or lost letters are found. You won't believe it. It's happened to me. I have found old letters of some relatives when I was cleaning up the house one time. And if they hadn't written down the date, I wouldn't have known when they had this specific conversation. So it's very important for you to write down the date. Format for date can be anything that you're comfortable with. This also works if you want to do month first. That also works, okay? If you don't want to put second, then do this. So you have various formats that you can use to write down the date. Just make sure that you're writing it down correctly. Okay? Like I said, not a lot of rules in informal letter. It's quite easy. So it's very unlikely that you lose marks because of format. Then what are you going to do? You're going to write down your greeting or your salutation. This depends entirely on whom you're talking to. So if it's a close friend, dearest Maria works. If it's an older relative that you still need to give respect to, then you can write dear Mr. Shah or whoever. Okay, if it's someone that you're very, very close to, then you can write my dear Sonia or whoever. Okay? So this depends. You have a lot more flexibility than you do in a formal letter. So this depends on whom you're writing a letter to. If you don't want to confuse yourself, then just dear XYZ is enough for you to remember. That works in every situation, right? Okay. Then we have the most important part of the letter, the introduction and body of the letter. So here, let's read it out quickly and then understand what exactly we need to put in. Hope you're keeping well and everyone at home is happy and healthy. It has been a long time since all of us have met, so I was thinking we should plan something. How about a get-together next month? I would love to discuss more about it. This is what I have in mind. We meet on Friday evening and stay over the weekend at a resort in Munnar. The climate of Munnar is great at this time of the year. We could also go around the famous spots if everyone is interested. We could talk to the others as well. I will visit you next weekend to discuss more on this. So here, the objective of the letter was to plan a trip, okay? But when you want to write a letter to somebody, even if it's for a very specific objective, you cannot just randomly say, I'm planning a trip, you better, no. You will first inquire if they are doing all right, everything is good at their house. So a safe way to start all your informal letters is to just ask if everybody is doing fine. So first 2 lines, hope your health is fine, hope you've been keeping well, hope everybody else at home are also keeping well. Okay, that's something you can write in all informal letters. Once you have checked up on everybody at home, then you can move on to whatever the question asks you to do. In this case, it's quite obvious that the question had asked us to plan a trip. So here we have with whatever details we had in the question, and if we didn't have enough details in the question, feel free to make up your own details. If they haven't specified where you should go for your trip, you can go to your favorite place, whatever it is that you have in mind, okay? So जो भी आप logically trip planning के लिए करते हो, कहाँ जाना है, कहाँ रहना है, कहाँ घूमेंगे, कौन जाएगा, वो सारे details according to your own लॉजिक जो आपको सही लगता है आप डाल दो लेटर में, एंड योर इंट्रोडक्शन एंड बॉडी विल बी सॉर्टेड. Finally, you're going to have a concluding line. Concluding line is obviously कि I am looking forward to your reply and I really hope you can make it to the trip, या whatever the body was about उसके related आपने conclusion लिख दिया. So awaiting your reply and hoping to meet you soon. Okay? Then how do you write your own signature? Obviously नाम तो अपना लिखोगे, उससे पहले क्या, अब जैसे हम लोग फॉर्मल लेटर में yours faithfully, yours truly, yours sincerely लिखते हैं, इधर हम थोड़ा सा और लिबर्टी ले सकते हैं. with love लिख सकते हैं, फिर आप kind regards लिख सकते हो, आप warm regards लिख सकते हो, आप yours lovingly भी लिख सकते हो. ठीक है? So आपके पास बहुत सारे options हैं, आपको जो सबसे अच्छा लगता है you can go ahead and use that option. Okay, and here is a full example of an informal letter. Let's read it once and then point out the different parts of this letter. Okay, now the letter is letter to your friend congratulating her on becoming the head girl of the school. So it's a letter to congratulate somebody. We start with our address written very nicely over here, give line break over here, and then you have the date. Okay, remember to give a line break over here. After you have your date, you will write, dearest Shreya, who is your friend, I heard that you were chosen to be the head girl of your school. Congratulations, you absolutely deserve this. I've seen your dedication towards the school and its various functions and events. They are lucky to have such a kind person as their head. So, तारीफ पे तारीफ कर दी हमने. I hope this position brings you adventure and helps you grow. I'm planning to take a trip to your place next month. Let's talk soon and plan for it if you're free. Waiting to hear from you, your dearest friend, Shobha. Okay, so here we have the address, date, there we go, I'll just show it to you. Okay, that's another letter, so I can't show you that. So you have your address, your date, how you're going to address your friend or whoever you're writing the letter to, your intro, body, conclusion, and then your signature. Okay? Here's another letter. Write a letter informing your friend that you won't be able to attend the get-together. Sad letter. You have to say, I will not be able to make it. I'm so sorry. Even though I really wanted to come, I can't. Whatever bahana you want to give, you can give. So again, we have the address, date, you have the greetings, and then I would always prefer giving a line break between the address and the date, okay? Some people don't, teachers don't deduct marks even if you don't, but it's always a safe option to give a line break between your address and your date, okay? Then you do your greetings, whoever you're talking to. Like I told you, just writing dear is also a safe option, and with love or yours lovingly is also a safe option. So you don't have to complicate it too much in your heads. Stick to whatever you're most comfortable with. Body is what you need to focus on. It is what you need to put most of your creativity into and make sure that it sounds nice, it's grammatically sound, and it meets the objective of the question. So let's read it once. It is extremely thoughtful of you to plan a get-together for all of us. I wish I could join you, but I'm sorry to say that I have a project starting next month and it would not be possible for me to be there. If there is any way of preponing the get-together to any time before the month end, then I can make it to the gathering. So here you've added a caveat that I want to come, I won't be able to, but if you can shift the dates of the event, then maybe I can join. So that was not something that was given to you in the question. Question में ये नहीं लिखा था कि आप ये बोलो कि आप dates change कर लो तो मैं आ जाऊँगी, but that's something you have added on your own. to make the letter more interesting. So that much creativity and that much space for imagination you have. So make use of that, okay? I hope we can reschedule the get together and not miss the chance to meet up. Waiting to hear from you, okay? All right, now it's homework time. What is your prompt? Write an informal letter to your parents. Oh no. Imagine you've moved to a hostel for the first time and are writing a letter to them to let them know you're fine but you miss them. Basically, जिन्हें भी तारे ज़मीन पर देखी है उसमें जो गाना है मैं कभी बतलाता नहीं पर अंधेरे से डरता हूँ मैं माँ, वो वाली vibes लेके आनी है इस letter में. Do write this letter and ज़्यादा भी emotional मत कर देना, ठीक है? I will definitely read your letters and the best letter is going to get a shout out from me. So go get right to it. Write down your letters before you turn off your computer and go eat or play or do whatever it is that you want to do. I will see you, but don't forget to subscribe. So letter लिखना मत भूलना, like करना मत भूलना, subscribe करना मत भूलना, ये सब भूलना मत और ये सब करने के बाद जो करना है वो करना. Okay? I will see you again next time. Take very good care of yourself.